Today we'll be making some dog and cat bowl holders that you can make very easily and cheaply. Depending on what wood you use, it can be very, very cheap or very, very expensive, but still cheaper than buying it. And you can use this with variable tools around the house. Everything from a jigsaw to a hole saw to a router or any other way. So what we're looking here is a filled glue up. This is oak, um, and I don't know what happened. This is a while back. I was experimenting, but it's pretty rough. I never used it. I was gonna throw it, but then I had to make something for the cat. I have one for the dog. So instead of using new materials, I might as well reuse this, bring it down to the thickness I want, and put some legs on it. See how it looks. Plus I have my new tool for my router, which I just got from Amazon to make the small radius. So we'll be trying that out as well, hopefully. So I did the first pass. I just don't want it to force it. Just a little bit at a time. It's gonna hook up the vacuum to it, so I'm not making too much of a mess. I'm gonna be putting a 45 on the bottom part, just to give it some details. I gotta put a Y here, so I don't have to keep unplugging and plugging hoses. When using the router, if you look at where the arrow is, I didn't use a non-slip surface underneath, and when I got to the bottom it slipped and made that little mistake, which I cleared it out afterwards with some sandpaper. But to avoid that, put something non-slip on the bottom. After deciding on the measurements for the sides, I cut the 45 and I snuck up on it so I can match the front and the back. After all the measurements and everything were cut and everything was done, I just proceeded to do some sanding. I sanded it all around. I ended up with the 220 grit. I didn't go any higher than that. That was smooth enough for the finish I was putting on. I think it came out okay. I loved it. For the legs, I did, this is a walnut, and cut it down to like almost like a Japanese style looking leg. Then I just made some dowel holes in there, transferred the holes to the surface there, drilled them out. Just use some homemade dowels. I just cut them down to the size I needed, and glued them in. Basically, simple as that. And it seems to be holding great. I didn't want any screw holes on the bottom or on the top. So if you don't have this, you can use screws. It's not a big deal. You can always, cover them up on top as well. But this is a nice way not to see anything. I did make it low because it's a cat, and for the dog I made it higher. And the great thing about doing your own, you can totally customize it to the size of your dog. The cat has a small bowl and a big bowl. The dogs both had the same size bowls. This is the beauty of it. You can make it any way you want. This one here I cut out with a hole saw, and I cut out with the router. The next one on there, for Luna, I cut out just with the router. And I did another one, which you see at the end. I didn't do a video for it. I just cut out with the router as well. But you can use a jigsaw. I used a jigsaw on another one that I haven't finished yet, but it works just as fine. My finish of choice was Varathane, indoor-outdoor. So if it ever gets water in there, because they will have the water bowl there, it's totally strong enough to withstand any moisture. I didn't use my Cricut machine. I made the names Winter, and I made Luna. I put them on and then added the Varathane. It's important just to cover that up. It gives it an extra layer. Um, I think overall it came out great, and hopefully you can make one for your dog as unique. Well, here's what I was talking about with the jigsaw. You could do it with a jigsaw as well. You don't have to have a router or a hole saw. Just showing the different ways of doing it. And for Luna, I put made moons on the side just to make it added feature. And I also made a shadow of the moon where the name is, if you can see that. I was just playing around with it. This is a cheaper wood that you also can use. This is just pine. Thank you for watching, and stay safe.